Comedy now! Uncensored! Starring Lori Ferguson-Ford, Diane Love, Larke Miller, Dawn Whitwell, in Women of the Night. Please welcome Larke Miller.
Hello, Toronto. So my name is Larke Miller. Lark like the bird, Miller like the beer. That's how I remember it. I'm really happy to be here. I'm not really a comic. I'm just sort of trying this till my pimp gets out. I'm from Vancouver originally. Don't hate me, but I lived in Los Angeles for a really long time, and I just moved back to Vancouver. And there's not too much that I miss about LA. Like, I miss the weather, and I miss my friends, and I find that I really miss all of the Mexicans a lot. We don't really have any Mexicans in Vancouver. Actually, that's not true. We have a lot of Mexicans in Vancouver, but they're all Chinese. There's a lot of Chinese people on Earth. There's like over 1 billion. Did you know that? And that's not including Filipinos. Do we have any Americans here tonight? No? Good. I kind of feel sorry for Americans traveling. I had this American friend who was visiting me not too long ago, and everywhere she went, everybody gave her such a hard time because she didn't understand the metric system, and she didn't know who our prime minister is. And she's like, oh my God, Lark, everybody in Toronto thinks I'm an idiot. I'm like, just relax. Nobody in Toronto thinks you're an idiot. You're in Vancouver. I'm single, and I gave my phone number to this guy that was wearing this t-shirt that said pussy eating expert on it. And then I find out that just about anybody can buy one of those t-shirts at the store. Ladies, you can't just assume he's won that shirt in a contest. I'm tall. You notice that? But I actually prefer to date men that are a little bit shorter than me, because that way if things ever get scary between us, I know I could take him. I actually got hit on by this dwarf not too long ago, and I'm not normally attracted to dwarfs, but he was wearing cowboy boots, and I have this really big thing for cowboys, so I talked to him. And while we were flirting, I kept trying to picture what he might look like on his horse. But I couldn't see that. I just kept seeing him ride off on a goat. And then I tried to picture what his little boots might look like next to my bed. But I couldn't see that. I just kept seeing them bronzed and hanging on my wall. I got hit on by this guy from Saudi Arabia, and he was really hot, but I couldn't live in Saudi Arabia because I couldn't wear a burqa. It's weird that that's what's holding me back from moving to Saudi Arabia, like the dress code, not that I can't drive a car or that I'm kind of an honor killing waiting to happen. I kind of wonder about, like, people who are like transgendered in different parts of the world. Like, you know, in Canada, if a boy thinks that he's really meant to be a woman one day, then he kind of grows up wanting to like have long hair and wear high heels. But like, how do you know that you're transgendered when you live in Yemen? Like, is there like a little boy who's like, I knew that I always wanted to be a woman one day because ever since I was little, I had this urge to never be taught how to read. little bit difficult for me to have a relationship sometimes because I travel around a lot doing comedy. So what I like to do is if I'm seeing a man that I think is really special, before I go away on the road, I like to cut a little lock of his hair. And I like to take it away with me. And I find it very comforting to know that a part of him is always with me. And I also find it very comforting to know that if he cheats on me while I'm gone, I can frame him for murder. It's a lot easier to get a lock of hair from a man than to have to explain why he needs to touch the gun. I know that there are other ways to get back at a man, but I'm not ready to start a family. Thank you. I do know that I want to have a kid one day, and I realize that it's really something that I'm going to have to do before my mom gets too old to raise it for me. So, kind of getting up there. So, I have a friend that's having a baby, but she didn't do it the regular way. She went to a sperm bank to get pregnant, which I don't believe in. I don't think that that is right. I don't think that a woman should ever have to buy sperm. I think sperm is always supposed to be free. Not only should it be free, but it should always come with all the liquor you can drink. A lot of people think that I'm blonde just because I'm dumb. I don't care if people think that I'm stupid. I actually think that it's kind of fun to play with people who think that I'm a little bit dumb. Like, one of my favorite things to do when I have a little extra time in the grocery stores, I like to take a loaf of bread up to customer service and ask, "Is this bread available in a toast?" Is it wrong to do it doggy style in front of a cat? I'm really fascinated by all of the really fancy terms that people have come up with for the sex acts, like fellatio and cunnilingus and tit fucking. I like to think that they'd really tried with that one. Like, I like to think that they thought of all sorts of really fancy terms for it, like breasticourse and mammarybation. Before they just decided that tit fucking pretty much covers it. So, did you guys hear about the hockey riot that we had in Vancouver? Yes? We lost. It was really horrible. I don't have to tell you what that's like, but yes. Thank you. But bunch of hooligans got really crazy and set things on fire and turned over cars and broke into Sears and stuff. It was really crazy, and I was brand new to Vancouver at the time, and the weirdest thing coming from the States was how Vancouver reacted to it. Like, Vancouver's biggest issue after the riots was its reputation. That was like all Vancouver thought about. It was like Vancouver acted like a really nice girl who went just a little too far one night with a guy that she liked and then kind of had to backtrack it the next day. I want to do my impression of Vancouver after the riots. Okay. I can't believe I did that last night. I was so drunk. I never do stuff like that ever. Last night was a really emotional night for me. And I've never done anything like that ever. Okay, once in '94, I did. But that was when I was really young, and inexperienced, and I didn't know how to handle that kind of attention. Hey, I wanted to ask you, last night when I got a little bit crazy, did you and all of your guy friends take a bunch of pictures of me and videotape it? Okay, I would really appreciate it if you didn't post those online. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lark Miller. Please welcome Lori Ferguson-Ford.
Hello, Toronto. Nice looking front row. How are you, honey? Right here in the front. How are you? What's your name, sweetheart? What is it? John. How old are you, John? 18. How cute. Are you afraid of the cougar? I got the whiskers, you know what I'm saying, John? How are you, sir? You're just looking at me like, great, a chick comic. This is the first time I've ever seen a woman on stage with her clothes on. Okay, then. So, John, do you mind me asking you a question? Okay, I'm an older woman, right, John? And I used to date really young guys. Could you tell I was an older woman? Yeah, fuck you, John. All right, thank you. Bad answer. I got my period. I could fucking kill you from here. All right. If you don't mind me saying, oh my God, you young guys, your sexual fantasies just a bit bizarre. I swear to God, right in the middle of sex, this young guy says to me, dominate me. That's not all. Spank me. I've been a really bad boy. And it's so nice to see you again, John. And in case you're sitting out there tonight going, what the hell's a cougar? In case you don't know. A cougar is an older woman that goes after young men, right? You're a little older, sir. It'd be more like a mountain lion. You know what I'm saying? But my problem is every once in a while the young guys do hit on me, and I do take advantage of it. I do. Not sexually. I just invite them to my place to do yard work and shit. I'm not really a cougar. I'm a contractor. And I pay very well. Are you a good guy, John? Yeah? Do you practice the safe sex? You good about that? He's like, yeah, I'm wearing a condom right now. And I feel sorry for men having to wear condoms. I really, really do. And ladies, you've heard a man say it at least once in your life. I can't feel anything through the condom. That's gotta suck. So the next time you're putting a condom on a man, have some compassion, ladies. And as you're stroking ever so gently, putting it on, give him one great big pinch right on the top because he'll feel that. You know what I'm saying? But it is no walk in the park for us ladies, hey? I don't know if you're like me, but isn't making love to a man wearing a condom kind of like having sex with a balloon animal? It makes the sex more fun. We can twist it into all different shapes, and then just like a balloon, rub it on our hair and stick him to the wall. You ever have a balloon animal when you were a kid and it would break and you'd cry? Same thing, right? Do you have a big pickup line, John, when you see a pretty lady? No? You don't? You're just that good you don't fucking need one? All right. Worst pickup line I've heard in 47 years of living. Take your dress off. You'll be more comfortable. I would never fall for that again. Only once. No, I'm in an excellent mood tonight, excellent mood. I was out celebrating last weekend. I went to a stagette. We decided for this particular stagette, we would go to the male strippers. Ladies, do you even like the male strippers? No. I don't either. I don't mind the dancing. I don't mind the little outfits, but I do not in any way find this attractive. I don't care who the hell you are, that's just not pretty. But we went out on this stagette. We took my Italian girlfriend Rita out for her big, big night. We got her really, really drunk, and then we shaved off half her mustache. And she She was quite pleased. Is there any Italian women in here tonight? Gonna kick my ass in the parking lot? Or shave it? I don't know. Thanks so much. I got married. Things are going really, really well. I'm actually divorced. Any divorced people in the crowd tonight? Now, are you happy? They're always happy people, always. They're always, woo! I was so depressed when I first got divorced. I went to the doctor. He tried to put me on those antidepressants. I thought, screw that. I went out and got a puppy. No, she's a great dog. Her name's Paxil. 7 people got that. Awesome. John, it's an antidepressant. Thank you. My ex-husband was married before he married me to this bitch. I don't know if you know her. And to be totally honest, that's why my marriage split up. My insecurities over the ex. And I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but you know when you're with someone, you don't want to be anything like their ex. Like, she was French. I will never go to Paris. She sings professionally. I don't even hum anymore. All I'm saying is thank God she wasn't a slut. But, I did get the coolest thing out of my marriage, though. I truly, truly did. I have the most amazing French stepsons. They are so cool. And the youngest one, on the day of our wedding, he could barely speak English. He was just little. He came up to me all concerned. He's like, Lorie, when you marry my papa, will my mama still be my mama? And of course I said no. She's gone. It's just you and I now. Go fetch my slippers. Don't switch, don't switch. Thank you. Tell you a little bit more about me. I'm Scottish. Any Scottish people in the house? Awesome. I'm Yugoslavian. There never is. And I'm 1/8 native. Oh, there's my tribe. All right. The only way you can tell I have native blood in me, the only way you can tell, check it out. I got no junk in the trunk. I call this my stat ass. I show this puppy I get cheaper gas. It's awesome. I also suffer from something called fibromyalgia. Do you guys know what that is? Okay, for those of you that don't know, it's a widespread chronic pain that there is no cure for. Kind of like being married to an asshole for the rest of your life. Some of you are going, shit, I have fibromyalgia. Well, my stepson, he was always so concerned with all the pain I live with every day, and he came home from school one day, he was all excited. He's like, Lorie, today at school we learned that people like you in pain should smoke pot. My kid's telling me to smoke pot. But the cool thing is I now get medicinal marijuana. I have a license to smoke pot. This whole section's like, oh my God, our leader's here. All right. When I'm high, I think I'm brilliant. I came up with this today just for you people. Are you ready? Do over-easy eggs come from slutty chickens? I do make fun of the marijuana, but it is a good thing that all across Canada we are coming down on the drug dealers big time. Good thing. I don't know what they do here in Toronto, but I'm from Chilliwack, and this is true. If you get caught dealing drugs, they post a huge billboard on your lawn that says a drug dealer lives here. No, thank God they're finally doing something about it, because I was new in town and I had no idea where I was going to get my pot. So, all they need now is a drive-through. That'd be nice. With this job, I get to work with a lot of American comedians, and as soon as they get up here to Canada, they make fun of our police force. And I think it started years ago when they first started letting the East Indian policemen wear the turbans. Now they're gonna let Native Indian policemen wear braids. Shit, all we need now is a construction worker. It's the village people. Perfect. But how far do you think they're gonna go? What do you think they're gonna do next? Hey, let the Chinese cops drive? I don't know, it could happen. That always gets a mixed reaction. There's usually people laughing their asses off, or someone in this room right now is going, that's very, very racist. So I gotta back it up. I did a show, I am not lying, about 2 years ago in Vancouver for 300 Chinese people. Manager of the club said, Lori, don't do that joke. I thought, screw it, I did the joke. I have to tell each and every one of you, they laughed their asses off. They know they're shitty drivers. But could you imagine getting pulled over by a Chinese policeman? Ah! You realize how fast you are going? You realize you just cut me off? And your blinker's been on for the last 4 miles? Sir? I also dated a Chinese man. I did for about 3 months. Very nice man. His name was Wingnut. That's because he only had one. But we had a ball anyway. But if you're single and you're out there tonight, holy shit, I highly recommend, oh my God, go out and have sex with a Chinese person. Don't laugh. Best sex I've ever had, except I was horny an hour later. I do want to talk to the men for 2 seconds, and I truly mean this. I applaud every single man in this room tonight for putting up with women and all the bullshit we put you through. I applaud you. I mean that. Now look at the ladies. The ladies are like, well, she was kind of funny up until now. The young ones are usually going, that's not true. The older ones are going, no, she's right. We're pretty screwed up. We are. We do some crazy things, ladies. Let's fess up tonight. We do some shit that men don't even have a clue we're doing. And I know at least one woman in this room tonight has done this. If you have, let me know. You ever go to a guy's place for the very first time? Do you ever run the water so he can't hear you peeing? Thank you. Or you do the real effective flush and pee method, where you flush, pee real fast. Guys don't do shit like this. They don't. Like when you go to a lady's place, do you pee to the side of the bowl? No, guys don't care. They'll pee all over your carpet. They don't care. That's what they think that fuzzy mat's for. I'll just clean that up. She won't suspect a thing. Have any of the ladies ever experienced a really bad leg cramp in the middle of sex? Isn't it a great way to fake an orgasm? Sure it is. Sure it is. First we tense all up, then we scream like hell, and the guy's going, yo baby, yo baby, yo baby. But we play right along, don't we? It's like, oh yes, you great big stud. I do have a question for the men, though. Why is it parts of your bodies wake up before you do? Isn't it true? It's usually around 7 a.m. There's a little tent forming underneath the sheets. We are sound asleep. What happens every morning? And he goes pee and it's gone. I don't understand that. Like, could you imagine if parts of our bodies woke up before us? Bill, is Mary awake? No, but her tits sure are. I don't think so. I hate being single again. I absolutely hate it. Do you think we act ourselves, ladies, when we're first going out with a man? Do you think we do? No, we don't. We don't. We act so phony in the beginning of a relationship. We do, ladies. Come on. And I used to lie my ass off when I was young like you. You ever do that to go out with a guy? Oh, I love fishing, hunting, and NASCAR. Yeah. But we act so phony in the beginning. You guys have to notice. Men have to notice. Most women, the first 2 weeks you're dating us, we don't eat. We don't burp. Never fart. Isn't it true? Then what happens after you're married for a while? What happens to us ladies then? We get comfortable. We start sucking up food like a shop vac. We are burping out the entire alphabet. And we're farting and sticking their heads underneath the covers, eh? Take it all, bitch. Thank you very much, Toronto. You've been a lot of fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lorie Ferguson-Ford. Please welcome Dawn Whitwell.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming. Anyone from Hamilton here? Hey, Hamilton. I am also from Hamilton. I just wanted to mention that in case I slip into my accent by accident. I grew up on the mountain in Hamilton. Yeah? We know it's not called a mountain. We know that. But escarpment is difficult to say. That's... especially in Hamilton. It is. Living on the mountain, I have to say, kind of made us the big shots in our family. It did. Or the fixed address, one or the other. I also wanted to tell you a little bit about my wife. Yeah, I said it. I said it. The Hamilton thing was a diversion. There are gay women of the night as well, okay? All right? We're mostly there just to make sure that the straight women of the night don't have their civil rights violated in any way. But we are there. We walk the beat. We walk the street. My wife is a bit of a radical. Just the other day, she said to me, honey, could we have a solution-focused discussion on radical acceptance? There is one way to answer that question, and that is yes, sir. Yes, sir. She also has decided that we are no longer taking taxis because, as she put it, we're not rap stars. That's why. So that's sort of her there. We live in Toronto in a condo. Basically, that means we can see each other all the time. That's what that means. I hear things like, where are you going with the mayonnaise? To make a sandwich in private. That's right. My wife and I were having people over the other night, and she accidentally left a dildo drying on the bathroom counter. All right, I said it. What was embarrassing, not even one we use anymore, she just saw it and thought, oh, that could use a wash. Right? And I had to be the one to pull her aside and go, honey, we've got company over, okay? Put out the good dildos. Come on. We pay money for that stuff. Just in the summer, we went to a theme park with a lot of friends of ours. All lesbians, okay? All of us went to this theme park together. And someone asked me, what do you call that when lesbians travel in a group together? Is that like a pack or a horde? What is that? It's a murder. Decided. That's how we're traveling in murders. So we went to this theme park, and like a lot of parks, you enter, some teenager takes your picture so that you can buy a keychain with your picture on it on the way out. Sure enough, we all come in, girl takes our picture, then says to the murder of us, okay, how about now one with just the girls? All right? All right? You got it. All right. So, there were easily enough of us to start a revolution. Easily. Because you only need 8 lesbians to start a revolution. I don't know if you knew that. But instead, what we chose to do was talk amongst ourselves, decide that the women with ponytails will stay in this picture, okay? And the rest of them took a boy's picture. All right? So we're not as angry as you think we are, okay? All right? Actually, I'm gonna get a little bit angry. My wife and I also watch The L Word, because it's all we have. You know what I mean? It's all we have. So we watch it. And I did take issue with the fact that we were portrayed so perfectly on this show. I know, pick your battles, right? But not one fat lesbian on this show. It's about lesbians in Los Angeles. No fat lesbians. Until one of the characters went to prison. Oh my God. There they were. There they were. In the shower, no less. In the shower. Why hold back, Hollywood? Why hold back? You know what I mean? And then it occurred to me, this is Hollywood. They're in jail for being fat. That's what's going on here. That is what's going on here. Oh, my in-laws are from Newfoundland. Anyone from Newfoundland in the house? A few. You've come a long way for a free taping of a show that's going to air for free. But hey, Newfoundland's in the house. Awesome. Before I met my wife, I'd never been. Now it's the only place we go. Apparently it works that way. And I have to say, nothing makes me fatter than going to Newfoundland. I have to say, my first trip, only one pair of pants fit me on the way home. Drawstring, obviously. But, one year we tried to implement some damage control with the diet. Not easy, since a bowl of boiled potatoes is called the salad, first of all. And they have this expression called pass the fat, and it's a bowl of melted butter with fried up pork fat in it that gets poured all over your already epic meal. So we managed to find frozen vegetables, make a stir fry. People were pissed. They were pissed. We were accused of trying to be fancy, first of all. The last thing you want to be in Newfoundland, fancy. Last thing, and no one ate it. No one ate it. In fact, my wife's grandfather waved it off with disgust, and he had had a stroke. He couldn't even use that arm. That's how pissed he was. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dawn Whitwell. Please welcome Diane Love.
Hey. So my name is Diane Love, and I am from Charlottetown, PEI. I know. Yeah, so, I live in Toronto now, and I'm always a little bit homesick. I'm always hearing news from home. I just recently found out that a friend of mine is pregnant. But not that, what are you gonna name it? Pregnant. It was the, what are you gonna do? Can we just, all agree that it's 2011 and we should, stop getting pregnant by accident now? Yeah. I hate that people don't wear condoms. Let's all just wear condoms, right, guys? And I think girls should have their own condom stash. That's important. But I had this guy say to me, well, I wouldn't trust a girl's condom stash. Why? And he said, because how do I know that they're not poking holes in them and trying to lure me into being her baby daddy? And he's saying this? And all I'm thinking is but you're ugly. You do not have to worry about that. You work at coffee time. What? Get your priorities straight. But this is the same guy who wholeheartedly asked me what Obama's last name was. So I really like watching documentaries. Sort of obsessed. I really like documentaries that have the best names, They come up on your guide and you're like, born without a face. Yes. And And they always trick you. They make you think that it's gonna be so happy. Like one was like, real life mermaid. It was not about a mermaid. It was just about a girl who was born with her legs fused together and no vagina. Like, that's not a mermaid. Throw her in the water, she's gonna die. And she did. So they tested it on Mythbusters. I watched this one that was about this woman who was born with no arms and no legs. And the whole documentary was about her raising her newborn child. It was really, really hard to watch. Because, I'm watching it and all I can think is, how are you getting laid and I am not? How is that a thing? You are a torso. I have all kinds of limbs. Throw her in the water. I'm just kidding. Don't. I watched this one that was about, okay, stay with me. It was about babies born with ambiguous genitalia, right? The baby would just come out and the doctor would be like, it's a baby. I don't know. It was crazy. Their genitals look like everything. There's some look like sandwiches, seahorses. Doctors were like, oh, we can't have people walking around with sandwiches between their legs. We gotta do something. So the whole documentary was about how doctors just like cut them off and build them a new one. Deal. All right, that sounds good. They have this little expression called, it's easier to make a hole than a pole. Like doctors say that. But here's why, because apparently it is easier to make a hole than a pole. Because when you're making a pole, it has to be able to do a whole lot of things, right? Like it has to be able to wow, get on up. It has to be sensitive and it has to climax, right? And so that's a penis. And then so for a homemade vagina to be considered a real vagina, it has to be able to hold a penis. That's it. That is the only thing. So I'm watching it and I'm thinking, so technically my asshole is a vagina. Yeah! Got a spare! And when I say that my asshole is a vagina, I mean, technically, I don't actually do that. No, I don't do anal. Ah! I have my reasons. Mostly it's that I am scared. So, and I don't like being the party pooper at the pooper party. Sometimes though I feel really bad for my asshole. I just picture her being so lonesome. I picture that my asshole and my vagina are neighbors. And my vagina's always having these wild parties. And my asshole is just sitting at home, listening through the walls. That sounds like fun. Can I come? No. So I have to be the landlord and be like, listen, asshole. You can't have anybody over. Your place is a shithole. So, I just bought myself a brand new laptop computer. I know, I was really happy. But my first thought was I'm gonna download so much porn. It's gonna be the best. I was always too nervous before, It's like a shared computer and somebody could go through my history and be like, you're a pervert. But I learned a little bit about Diane Love that day. Because it turns out I don't really like porn that much. I don't know, it's not I find it degrading or anything stupid like that. It's because I find that the penises are way too big. Oh, they're terrifying. I just don't get why they need to be that big. It's intimidating. I don't really want to have sex with a gigantic penis. Again. I was with a man, and he had a big one. I saw it, and I didn't know if I should, like, play with it or, like, feed it a live mouse. And, like, the whole time when I was on top, I sort of felt like a scarecrow, you know? Ah! Let me down! If I only had a bigger vagina. And I couldn't just, like, relax and enjoy myself, because the whole time I was like, I am ruining my vagina right now. Oh no. I just pictured it looking like Michelle Duggars from 18 Kids and Counting. I know. I was so scared. And I thought, I was like, wow. I was telling all my friends, like, this guy's dick was so big, it was like a shampoo bottle. And so my friend was like, okay, I'm gonna show you this porn. And I was like, weird, but okay. And no, but the reason she wanted to show it to me was because the guy in the porn, like, it was a shampoo bottle if you shop at Costco. Like, it was the biggest thing I've ever seen. I was sitting there just being like, this is not real. This is fake. He would need specially made pants, you know? Or if he just got, like, a boner out of nowhere, he'd just, like, take out an old lady on the streetcar. I didn't even see it all at first. I didn't, because the girl was still doing her thing. It wasn't until she was like, get it out of me! This isn't a real penis. This is a fake penis. And I was like, wait a second. I don't even care if this is a real penis or not, because the fact of the matter is, that's a real vagina. She's getting destroyed. I felt so bad for her, you know? I just pictured her looking like a turkey at Thanksgiving. Yeah. I know. I got so concerned. I was like, what are you gonna use for a tampon? Like, just like a balled up pair of socks, you know? Or like a pillow, like a whole pillow. But you know what? I felt so much better about my own situation. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't do anything too bad. This chick, if she wanted to have sex with a man with a regular sized penis, he may as well just, like, throw open the front door and just try and fuck the night. Thank you so much. My name is Diane Love.
Ladies and gentlemen, Diane Love. Ladies and gentlemen, Comedy Now's Women of the Night. Larke Miller, Lori Ferguson-Ford, Diane Love, Dawn Whitwell.